Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie. We're joined by a Fletchy today, and I'm here to do my haul revisit for May. How is it May already? I feel like the first 4 months of this year have just flown by, and and I have to give someone attention first. Me? I was actually going to pick up the books and show you the little stack of them, but apparently I'm not going to do that right now. This month is reasonably small. There are only 8 books left on this list, but some of them are quite chunky. So it's a deceptively large pile for only 8 books. May is kind of a weird month because Eurovisionathon is on until the 13th, and obviously I'm participating in that. You will have seen my first vlog for that on Monday. I also have Babe in the second week of June, so I have this really weird gap of like 3.5 weeks where I can just read whatever I want. And so I'm gonna try and use that time to do a bit more work on my haul revisits. I've been doing pretty well with them actually, but not specifically during the months that I bought the books originally. So I've been reading things that I bought in September or October, but not things that I have but not things that I bought in April. It's just been a bit all over the place, but as long as I'm getting through them, that is okay. I'm going to talk more about that in July, I think, when I do in which I do my Q2 goals update, and I think I will talk more extensively about my haul revisits either in that video or as a separate video. Haven't decided yet, we'll see. Because some of these are bigger, I think that I will probably end up trying to get to 2 of them, maybe 3, and I'll let you know which ones those are as we go through them. But we're going to start with 3 non-fiction that I got. I guess I was in a non-fiction mood last May. I know that during May last year, my partner and I went around to a couple of different bookstores, either on the same day or a couple of weekends in May separately. With that, I did kind of pick out some interesting non-fiction. The first of which is Medieval Bodies, Life, Death and Art in the Middle Ages by Jack Hartnell. This has a really cool cover, and it's all that middle age, that sounds weird, but it's Middle Ages art. So there's like a little like devil, and there's some angels and maybe a queen and just some weird things. But this is about bodies, medieval bodies. I don't know what else to tell you. This sounds really interesting though, so I don't know. I'm reading a bit of non-fiction this month with Eurovisionathon, so we'll see if I'm still in the mood for that come the second half of the month. But this one does sound really interesting. Okay, and then I also have, I guess I was in a mood last May because I got Marie Antoinette, The Journey by Antonia Fraser, which is also a history book. And I've always been kind of fascinated by Marie Antoinette. I studied the French Revolution in high school, and it was really interesting. And I don't know, I definitely had a period of my life where I was very interested in French history from around that time. That kind of died off, but I feel like I don't really know that much about Marie Antoinette, and if I do, I've just completely forgotten all of it. So this seemed like a good one. This was $2 from a op shop, or I don't know, somewhere, and it's in pretty good condition. And I've seen a lot of Fraser's books before, as a sort of historian of women, I guess. I know that I own a copy of her book about Mary Queen of Scots that my grandma gave me years and years ago. So I guess I'll try this one and see if I enjoy her style of writing. I'm sorry if you can hear the rain all of a sudden. It has just started absolutely bucketing it down out there. And then I was really in a mood because I also got Embroidering Her Truth by Claire Hunter. This is Mary Queen of Scots and the Language of Power. This is like a craft history. It's talking about textiles and embroidery and how that connects to Mary Queen of Scots, but also to ideas of women's power. I think it just follows around the time of Mary, but sounds like an interesting read nonetheless. Okay, and then we get into fiction. I have a weird bunch of things here. Starting off, I do have some YA fantasy. The first of which is League of Liars by Astrid Schultz. I started this one in March or April, keeping in mind that Astrid was going to be at Rare, and then I didn't really like it and I'd considered unhauling it, but I want to give it one more go just to see, because it's such a beautiful book. This is one of the Fable Crate ones, and I just want to give it one more shot and see whether I can get through it at all. I think last time I made it to about page 30 or so, maybe 40, but let's see, one more try, and I will definitely be trying this one this month. And then I also have Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. I don't know why I haven't read this book yet, because I frequently look at it on my shelves. It's one of the ones that is like towards the front of a stack, and I see it all the time, and I always think, I'm so excited to read that. I can't wait. And yet it's been here for a year. It is a big one, but again, it's YA fantasy, so it's not too hard to get through in theory. And so this will, I really want to try and make time for this in May, but I do have quite a few fantasy reads planned, so we'll see how that kind of pans out in terms of timing and things. But if not May, hopefully early June. Okay, we just can't decide today. Hey? Okay, next up we have some romance. First up we have a historical fantasy romance, I guess. This is The League of Gentlewomen Witches by India Holton, which is book 2 in the... What is the name of this series? But I really, really loved book 1. I read it last year for Eurovision-a-thon, and then I think I pretty much immediately bought this one and then just didn't get to it. But it is one that I will be reading in May for sure, because it was one of my picks from Sierra for my I Let My Friends Pick My TBR, and reading Control My Reading. I don't really know what that series is called right now, but this is one of the ones that she picked. Her video is due out in June, so I'd like to read this in May because I have 4 from Sierra and I have not started any of them. So this one is reasonably short, and the first one was a really quick read, So hopefully this one will be as well. And then I have another one that's also a romance and is also a pick from that series, and that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. So this one is a contemporary romance and was picked for me by Angel. So this one, Angel being my best friend, her video is last, which means it's not out until November. But I think I'm going to read this in June for Pride Month because it is also a sapphic romance and I'm so excited for it, and I think I've held off for about as long as I can hold off. So I think this one will be a June read. And then just to really mix this up and make it just a very confusing bunch of books, I also got Ulysses last year by James Joyce. I got this out of a little free library. I had a whole video planned around this, and it was honestly going to be like a 3-year project, I think. And then I just decided not to do it anymore. But I did read the first 58 pages of this one, and I was mostly enjoying it. I still want to read this one day, but I think it will definitely be over a couple of months with an audiobook and a lot of patience. I am reading my first James Joyce for an Irish literature class this week. We're doing the portrait of the artist as a young man, so I'm hoping by studying him and doing that one, which is a lot smaller, that I will gain an appreciation for him, that one day I will feel like I can tackle this. So this one's definitely not going to be a May one. But that's it. Yeah, like I said, 8 is not bad, even though some of these are very, very large. These 3 here will be the ones that I'm going to focus on in May, and possibly one of the non-fictions if I'm in the mood, but we'll see. And that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're doing super well, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. I just had to move Fletch because he's been sitting in the spot where I need to film all day, and he is letting me know that he is not a fan of having to be moved, but also he still wants to be snuggled.